Hello, all you beautiful souls out there. I hope you're having a wonderful day today. We're going to see what's in the energy for the collective that wants to come through the strongest right now. So, on the bottom of the deck, we have Divine Feminine. We'll see how that wants to play. But also, let's see here, depth, depth, awareness, important value. Um, so I get this is so far what's coming through to me with the divine feminine and the depth card is the divine feminine collective has been really understanding their value and their worth when it comes to things in their life. And remember, divine feminine is an energy. It's not attached to a gender role. We all have divine feminine energy within us. And the goal is to balance our divine feminine and our masculine energies within us, to know when to use each one, to make sure that they're both healed, both aspects are healed, and both are aligned, and both that's the chariot card. When we see the chariot card, we see the two horses, which usually talks about our ego and our intuition. It can also talk, yin yang, feminine, masculine. It's about getting that under control, getting in the balance, getting everything going in the same direction and on the same page so that we can actually move forward. And so I feel like the divine, that many people at this time in the collective at large are healing aspects of their divine feminine within them. They're starting to understand and be aware of their value, their individual value, and what they bring to the table. And this is for everybody in different ways. Soulmates. There could be somebody very significant in your life. Soulmates can be anyone. They can be a coworker. They can be a friend. They can be a relative. They can be a lover. We think a lot of times, most people think soulmates as lovers, but they don't have to be. They can be anyone in your life that is meant to play a significant role, that you're drawn to, that your soul is drawn to, that you have some kind of soul connection with. I know I have people in my life that some of the soulmates I have in my life, they're soulmates are different degrees of soulmates, and some of them, I always know who is. I know pretty immediately when someone's my soulmate, usually, because I'm drawn to them. I know that they're going to play, like, somebody is meant to play a role in my life, in my story in some capacity. And until I meet them and get to know them, I don't understand how that role is going to play out. You just have to kind of live and see. So, breaking point. So I feel like all of us as a collective have gotten to this point recently where we've been, maybe you're still in it, maybe you're still going through it, where we're overwhelmed, we're something is at a breaking point for all of us. Whatever that is, it's individual to you, what that breaking point is, because it's something that needs to give. It's a place in our life where we have not valued ourselves. We have not valued the divine feminine within us, that divine feminine energy within us. I'm going to go ahead and we're going to wrap that up. And then we're going to I'm using today, let me see, I am going to use, this is to get our overall energy for the reading today. That's going to set the baseline. We're going to this is Gateway to the Liminal Spirits Oracle deck. This is by a friend of mine. She is a very, very, very talented person. I have a lot of respect for her, Laura Tempest Zarkroff. I love this, and I got the book out because I want to do. I'm going to pull a card, or an oracle card, for our overall energy, and I'm going to give my interpretation of what is coming through. But I'm also going to read her entry from the book, because I want to make sure that the meaning comes through, that as she intended it as well. Because I know that she puts a lot into her work, a lot of effort and diligence, I should say. Meaning. Okay. What do we got? What is our overall energy? What wants to set our baseline? Oh, we have two. We have two that wanted to come out, clay and roots. So with these two cards coming out together, it's interesting to me. You know, clay is malleable. It's moldable, malleable. It can be formed into anything. You know, we can take clay and we can make it into vases and bowls and mugs and different things, statues. You know, we can form it. It's malleable. We can form it into anything that we want to. And so it's telling me here with the root chakra, maybe there was some things where our roots chakra, and with this being the heart too, I love the red, all the red, because that really is that root chakra. And see how this is rooted? It's almost like a tree of life, you know, like the heart being at the center. You know how we're connected down into the earth and we're connected up into spirit, and we're at the center, and our heart and our soul is at the center. But it tells me that maybe, you know, and this is my interpretation of just what's coming through intuitive for me, but it's telling me that we maybe haven't been as giving or malleable when it comes to allowing ourselves. We've been very rigid. Let me put it that way. We maybe have been very rigid in the past when it comes to looking at things that maybe needed to be healed, to allow ourselves to morph and change and shape into the person that we were meant to become. We tend to get rigid because of experiences that we've had in life, whether that was growing up or people that we've met, experiences we've had, you know, jobs we've had, or friends that we've had. You know, all of that shapes us, and sometimes we form this rigidity around certain chakras within us because we've made certain conclusions, we made certain decisions, and this is the way we look at the world, this is the way we perceive the world. And but we can become hardened to those. They can become steadfast, and we can become rigid and hardened to those practices, to those values, to those beliefs. And sometimes we don't want to allow ourselves to be this clay, to be malleable. And so this is saying this is a time that we need to allow ourselves to be malleable, to be open to something new, to be open to a new way of doing things, of seeing things, of looking at the world, and being willing, because this is almost like the flow of waves as well. I feel like water flowing. It's allowing ourselves to be open in our, not only our root chakra, healing that flight or fight syndrome within us, you know, that survival instinct, healing that, knowing that we really don't need to feel like we need to survive. We're really not threatened. We may sense or perceive that we're threatened, but that's our own fears and insecurities that need to be healed within us. And that's what's coming up when we're facing fears and anxieties and things that are bubbling up to the surface. All it is it's the universe wanting to alert us. It's our body even telling us, our soul is telling us, it's screaming, saying, you know, we need to do something differently. We can't look at things the way that we've been looking at them. We can't keep on going with the same beliefs, the same way of looking at things, the same way of doing things that we've always done in the past. Because if we do, we're doomed to fail because of that rigidity. And this is talking about being malleable. So now I'm going to go ahead and read. I'm going to go ahead and put those there so that we can get, let's see that. Yeah, there we go. I know I always have to set my camera up new every day, so it's always maybe a little bit off kilter sometimes. But let me see if I can find these in the book. Where do we have clay? Clay is 135 under artifacts. And then where is the root? roots 27 rights. Okay, 27. So 27 could be important in some way. That's the page this is on. 27 for the root and 135 for clay, which reduces down to a 9, which is individualism, about the self, and 9, 2 9. So the end of a cycle. This is the end of the cycle. That's beautiful. Okay, so let's go ahead. 27. Where are you? Okay, root. So we have our roots are made up of many things: our ancestors, the people in our immediate and chosen families, and the places that we come from. Roots can direct us not just to who or where, but also how and why are the way they are. Underneath the skin and soil, the heart sees truly. Consider, where do you come from? What are your roots? Where do you wish to take root and grow? I love this. This is almost a lot of what was coming through intuitively. So, messages: in order not only to grow but to flourish, connect with your foundation, pay homage to your ancestors, consider your immediate family connections, and review the folklore that has influenced you since you were a child. Are you honoring your past? No, not only the successes, but also the failures that have made you who you are today. We tend to learn more from times when we have failed than when things went smoothly. There's no need to cut those parts out of your memory or your identity. Don't be fooled by what's on the surface. Pay attention to your intuition. Look deeper to uncover the truth. I love that. So that really played into what I was intuitively picking up. So, and then we have 135, which is all the way at the end here for clay. Clay has long played an important part in creation myths, especially those that say the gods fashioned humankind from clay and breathed life into it. This connection is still present within the Jewish myth of the golem, a creature made of clay that is brought to life with breath and sacred words. Clay is the result of fine particles being deposited over time by bodies of water. Since early humans congregated near life-giving water sources, our discovery of clay was inevitable. Across the world, every culture has developed its own system of ceramics, using it for utilitarian containers, home construction, and spiritual and decorative objects. Our hands give clay shape, then fire transforms its molecules into something that stands the test of time. All it takes is a touch to make an impression upon the clay, and something begins to take shape. Realize that even the smallest gestures can impact others greatly, for better or for worse. The situation is workable, meaning you can make changes, reshape it, add more to it, and take away from it, malleable, as long as you are willing to invest in it. While clay is strong and resilient, once fired, it can be broken, and it can be hard, rigidity, to put the pieces back together again. Do not conflate the ability to withstand fire with being incapable of damage. Handle with care and be cautious. Don't assume that everyone else knows the rules. So that's what we're working with here. Take whatever messages resonated with you, and then we're going to use the seasonal fox tarot deck, and we're going to dive into the tarot and see what wants to come out as it pertains to this overall energy. So what do you got for us, Spirit? What do you got for us? We have the Tower. Yeah, and Tower's never, it's not something to fear. Even, things have to be leveled sometimes so that they can be rebuilt. When things aren't built in the correct way, we don't want to keep working forward with tools that don't work, so to speak. So maybe if you think about clay and the people that when you're first trying to make a bowl, it may be lopsided, it may not work very well, or it may not look very well. But as you gain more tools and you gain more knowledge, then of course your how you create your tools, the toolbox that you have becomes more robust. It becomes more, and so you don't want to be using, when you're in maybe the steel age, you don't want to be using stone tools, okay? And it's basically like, we have to, go back to the drawing board and use what is new and what's available. We don't want to keep doing things the way we've always done them that are outdated. Okay, so that's what really the tower is. It comes in, and it's a card that shows us, when a tower moment happens in our life, it's just saying that something needs to change because it's not being done in the best way for our highest good. Okay, so it's just allowing us the opportunity to change directions to make things better in our life in some way. In the moment, when you're in the moment of that tower, it doesn't feel that way. But usually, if you can look back over your life, you can realize that whenever you've had those tower moments, when things have gone awry in your life, there's usually always some knowledge you've gained out of it. It's made you a better person in some way. It taught you something that you now take with you, that you now apply toward your life in some way. It taught you something and helped you grow in some way, and that was the importance of it. We don't always think about that in the moment. And so then we have this Seven of Swords in reverse. I do like this coming out because this is in the Eight of Swords in reverse. I like that those are coming out as reversal energies. I do like that those are coming out in reversal energies because it's telling me that we're basically, we're cutting through the bull. Okay, we're cutting through the bull, not only other people's bull but our own bull. So it's like we're really, it goes back to that divine feminine energy. I don't know if that's still at the bottom of the deck. It is. Hey, look at that. It goes back to this divine feminine energy. The divine feminine, when we're in our divine feminine energy, we're looking at creative solutions. We're being creative. We're coming up with creative solutions. We're in receiving energy. We're able to use our intuition very, it's that almost kind of can be that high priestess energy where we're tapped into our intuition and we're seeing things for what they are. We're not only seeing other people's bullshit but our own bullshit, as well. And with the, usually Eight of Swords is about being trapped and keeping ourselves stuck. When it's in reverse, hey, now we're getting past that. This is like, can be the card of, bull. This can be the card of bull. And so with it in reverse, it's saying, we're no longer gonna trick ourselves. We're no longer going to tell ourselves false narratives. We're no longer going to keep ourselves stuck in our head. We're going to change and do something about it. So this is almost like, I feel like a self-imposed tower in a way. I feel like this is really self-imposed. This isn't a tower the universe has brought on you like unexpectedly, or on the collective unexpectedly. I feel like this is a result of the collective moving toward or moving into or healing aspects of their divine feminine and getting in touch more with their intuition. And through that, they're cutting through the bull. And as we cut through the bull, we're making changes in our life to make our own lives better. We're understanding the fact that we're co-creators with the universe, that we have the power, to change our reality if we so want to. I don't mind the Five of Wands coming out here. Of course, we're going to get a clarifier card on each of these, but this looks like, it's funny because usually this is a card of, it can be a card of like feeling like there's conflict. But if you look at these foxes on this card, it looks like they're actually working together as a team. They're collaborating and working as a team, almost to like build something, to create a structure. It actually looks like they're working together on that card, which is very interesting. I never noticed that before until now. So it tells me constructive criticism, or working toward building something with others, where we're collaborating with others in a more positive mindset, okay, than we have been, maybe have been in the past. And I know if you're looking at things going on paying attention to the news and stuff, you're like, what are you talking about? It doesn't feel that way to me. You'd be surprised. I think as people, as things come up and people are healing this divine feminine within them, I think that they're starting to have more compassion and empathy for others. And I think that's what we're moving through. Like, that's why the change, like, you see this disruption all over the place right now. And people are yelling and screaming and, they're not unhappy with things. But all it is because they're working through things. Their stuff is coming up out of, that's bothering them, that they're, that they have to work through, that they're working through things. And but on the backside of it, the divine, as they work through those things, and aspects within them heal, or they let go. I think a lot of it has to do with this rub that we're feeling, on a grand level in the world right now. It really is to help us really understand and prioritize what really is important. It knowing what to let go of. Is this really, like, holding on to, or letting yourself be upset and angry over X, Y, and Z? Is it really worth it? Is it really worth it? That could be damaging your health. Is it worth it? Are you loving yourself enough to let go of that, and let your body be at peace? Or would you rather stay in this constant state of fear and anger, and maybe resentment and hostility, where your body is in that state, going back to that fight or flight, that survival mode of I'm feeling threatened. And we don't have to be. We can be like clay. We can be malleable. We don't need to be hardened. We can choose whether we want to allow ourselves to be, put, to be fired, that clay, that malleability, to be fired and made into something rigid that can break. Or is it, or can we move and flow like the clay does in the water, where it deposited it flows with the water, and becomes those deposits along the river. So it's like, what do you want to, what do you want to choose for yourself? It's your choice. It's your choice what you focus on. Do you want to focus on things that make you angry and upset, that maybe that you have no control over? Yeah, it's bad that these things are happening. It is terrible. It's awful. But how much of it can you actually control? All you can control is the way you look at it, the way you perceive it, the way you deal with it, the way you move forward. How much you let that impact your life. So this tower, to clarify the tower, we have the 7 of Cups. So I like this because this is looking at our options. Like I said, it's getting out. I like that we had the 8 of Swords here in the reverse, because that is like, that's when we're stuck, when we're going round and round in our head and we can't get out. We're in a mental prison. We feel like we're stuck, but we're getting out of that because we're seeing options. We're seeing new possibilities, and the infinite possibilities. We're seeing that the way we were looking at things, the way we were doing things, it's not the only way. So like I said, we're seeing the fact that it's not the only way. We can do things differently. And so, like I said, I really feel like this tower is a self-imposed tower of the realization that I don't have to keep going the way I'm going. I don't have to keep myself in the circumstances that I'm under. I have the ability to change this. I can do something about it. I do have options. I'm not stuck, So clarifying the 7 of Swords in reverse is the Lover's card. So the Lover's traditionally is about a choice. And this is a choice of, do you want to convince yourself of your own bull or other people's bull, allow yourself to be, this is a day and age. Let me put it this way. This is a day and age where it's very difficult for us to understand the information that's out there, whether it really is truthful or not. With AI and deep fakes and the ability for people to make content up that is that looks believable, you don't know out there on social media if something is real or not. It's very, very hard to find credible sources, to really find credible sources, and to really know that the information, even sometimes what we think is the credible source may not be a real, like they may have got the information from a non-credible source, but you're believing it because you consider them a credible source. So we're in a day and age which is really crazy, that we almost can't believe anything we see or read. Okay. So the only thing we have to go by is our internal guidance system, our intuition that tells us what is right and wrong. And so it's like, are we buying into the hype? Are we listening to what is being fed to us? Or are we willing to use our intuition and really try and cut through all the bull and see what the truth of the matter is? What in my heart and soul feels right, and then acting accordingly based on that. Not pushing all this propaganda. I don't care what side of the fence you're on. I don't care, who you support. You have to figure that out for yourself, what in your heart and soul is right or wrong. You have to base it on your intuition, and really filter out all the external noise. This is a choice that we have to make. So we as individuals, we get to choose. We can buy into the crap, the stories that we tell ourselves, or the world tells us, or social media tells us, or we can make the choice. Again, I really like how there's the dark and white fox here, because again, it's reminding me of yin and yang, divine feminine, divine masculine, working together, being in balance, being in harmony. Now, I do want to say, I think that we have an eclipse, like one of the first eclipse of this year's eclipse season is coming up, or we may be in it. I'm not sure. I should have looked that up. I didn't think it would come into play. But with this moon here, I'm seeing, in the fact that it's partially covered, that I feel like the whenever that eclipse season, or the most current, we'll just put it this way, because this is a timeless reading. So whenever you find it, it's meant for you. So whatever is the upcoming eclipse, based on when you're seeing this reading, this is when this choice needs to happen, when we're faced or confronted with this choice of whether we let this tower fall, where we do the hard work to say, I'm not going to buy into the story, the narrative that I'm being told by external sources. I'm going to go in and do the inner work, and get in touch with my intuition, and really heal some of this rigidity within me that maybe has been built on these false narratives of things that I've been fed, by the world, and see really what what really feels right, what really feels like the solution, what feels like the way forward, what feels like the answer. Okay, and that's the choice that needs to be made here. So give me a clarifier on this Eight of Swords in reverse, the Eight of Swords in reverse, the Empress in reverse. So I think this is realizing, the Empress can be the embodiment of that divine feminine energy. But look at the way this fox is like, almost in a fetal position, like curled up on herself, but I do like that she's got the kids here, the little is it kids? I can't remember what baby foxes are called. I want to. I don't know. I don't know what they are. Somebody can leave it down in the comments if you know. I don't know what they are off the top of my head. But I like that we have the cherry blossoms, and it's like almost like she's hibernating and rejuvenating. Okay, she's like going within, she's in that almost like that dream state of getting in touch with herself, going within, taking that quiet time to calm her mind, and I feel like, this with this being in reverse, I think this is, it's kind of telling me, with it coming out as clarifying on the Eight of Swords, it's interesting that it's in reverse, because when it's in reverse, it says that we're out of touch with our intuition, which I think that's what we needed to gain clarity on. I think that's what we were confused on. That's what we were stuck. We didn't realize we were stuck. Because why? Why did we not realize we were stuck? Because we weren't going within, and that's what was keeping us stuck. Like it's saying that the fact that we weren't going within, we weren't standing in our Empress energy, we weren't being authentic to ourselves, that's what was keeping us stuck. But we're realizing that's what's keeping us stuck. That's what the ultimate choice is here. So let me go ahead. We'll get on this. Actually, give me a card. I want one more card on this Empress in reverse. Give me one more card on this Empress in reverse. I'm almost getting a, interesting enough, I'm sorry, I hit the camera. Interesting enough, I'm getting a Three of Swords energy off of that Empress in reverse. It's really strange. So the Page of Pentacle in reverse. Maybe that we didn't take action on something. Maybe we're having the realization. Maybe we were stuck in our head about something that we didn't do, an action we didn't take, something that we didn't do, because this is about investing. This is about this is starting something. This is okay. This can be, when it's in reverse, when the Page of Pentacles is in reverse like this. Page of Pentacles is when we start a process, when we start to learn about something, when we begin something, like we begin a project, we begin undertaking something new, and we're investing our time into it. We're learning about it. We're taking the time to really learn about something. It can be the card of like the apprentice, or the, you know, someone that is trying to learn. Okay, so I feel like here what's happened is that we were up in our head about something, maybe an opportunity that we missed out on, something that we wish we would have knew more about, that it's like a beating ourselves up. Like this was a beating. We were beating ourselves up over something, over a decision maybe that we didn't make, or an opportunity we didn't take, or a thing that we didn't do that we wish we would have done. But now we're realizing that we still can do it. It's like there's still the chance. Like it hasn't gone away. We spent so much time maybe beating ourselves up and saying that we couldn't do something, and it's like, now it's like, why can't I? It's like all of a sudden that realization, why can't I do it? It's allowing yourself to be malleable, where we were rigid before. It's like, I can't do this. It could be fear. It could be saying, like maybe you wanted to, write a song, and oh, I could never, or sing it, be a singer, and oh, I could never do that. No, you made yourself believe, told yourself a bull story, that you can't do this. You couldn't do it. You made yourself believe that you couldn't do it. That was your own bull, and so now it's like, I feel like what this reading is saying is, now where we were rigid, we're realizing, or given the opportunity to make a different decision, that we're being allowed to be malleable, to break the mold. So how when we're rigid as clay, when clay's fired, we're fired, the clay is fired, it becomes breakable. We had to break the clay, and we had to melt it down and reshape it. We had to reconstruct something. We're reconstructing something. And like I said, I really feel this is an internal thing. This is a self-imposed tower. This is something that we're realizing we can change the narrative of our story. We can come to a different conclusion. We can do things a different way. We don't have to keep living the way that we've always lived. We don't have to keep doing things the way we've always done them. That's what we've been taught. But is that the right way? Is it the best way? Just because that's what we've been told, or that's what we've been taught. We're really, the universe is giving us the opportunity right now to really say, if you want a do-over, this is the time to have your do-over. Are you going to take it? Are you going to take that do-over? Are you going to make that choice? The lovers choose, make that choice, because it is a choice. What are you choosing? What are you choosing to marry up with, to put your time, effort, and energy into? What are you choosing? Are you choosing to keep buying into your own bull or other people's bull or whatever? Or are you going to do something different this time around? Because this is like the ultimate do-over energy. This is like you can reinvent and start yourself over right now if you choose to. And this is somebody, I feel like the reading is saying the opportunity's there and you may be starting to realize that. Okay. So to clarify the Five of Wands, we have the Knight of Cups. See, I did say, I feel like that Five of Wands was coming out as almost like a collaboration card. It's really interesting. Because these fox really look like to me that they're not really battling, that they're almost working together, because they almost have like smiles on their face. Like they're happy to be there. They're happy to be working together. They're trying to figure out a problem, like solve the problem. They're working together, brainstorming, collaborating, and to do that we have to, we have to move forward. We have to go out into the world and talk to people and work with people, and we can't just stay to ourselves. We do have to, we have to bring these concepts. When we discover something about ourselves, or we discover, we have to move, we have to take that out into the world. We have to, to implement that change. This is our, this is taking our emotions, what our value, our emotional value, of who we are, our essence of a person, everything that we are, is in that cup, and we're taking it out into the world. We're bringing it forward, and I feel like, this Knight of Cups is giving me that, like, dreamer. I'm dreaming, wishing on a star. I see that star. It's almost hidden behind that branch, but it's look like he's looking at that almost, and it's look in North Star. I felt like it's like a guiding star. It's like the north, like maybe a north node thing, because north node is usually destiny, but destiny is a hard word, because Hollywood and movies and things have glamorized destiny to be this end all be all thing, but feel like it's faded, and it's just a guideline. Our north node just kind of gives us a guidepost to head toward. It's usually what we're trying to, the the thing we're trying to tackle in this lifetime. Our soul wants to learn something. It's trying to overcome some aspect of something, typically, because as it relates to us, working with others, it's usually learning how to have more compassion and love and kindness for others, okay? Typically in some form or fashion. Um, you can always look up in astrology what your north node is, and it'll give you an insight into, you know, a guidepost of what you might be here for. But we all do have free will, so that can, we can make whatever choices we want to make. So it's not like set in stone. But this person is paused. This fox is paused here. He's paused. He hasn't crossed this lake. Um, and he's not even worried about that lake. He's not really worried about crossing that river, because his eyes are focused on the destiny, like the future, the where I'm going, where my, dreaming. He's dreaming and wishing on a star, like, that I'm going to find my way, that I'm going to get to my destination, whatever that destination is. It's a really interesting reading. This is very interesting. I hope that it resonated with some of you, and I hope that you liked this reading. Please, I hope that you'll comment down below or hit that like button to let me know that it resonated with you, or that you enjoyed this, because I think it's a very interesting reading, and it's always surprises me what wants to come through. I never know what's going to come through. So what I want to do, I think I'm gonna get 3 cards here as a final maybe advice. If universe, do you have spirit, do you have any advice for my viewers? So we have the Page of Swords. Don't, Page of Swords can be very cutting with their words, and I like that this is in reverse. So it's saying be cautious, and I think we had that. I think that came out in that clay, in the what I read about clay, about, was it that, there was something about being careful about what you say. Um, now I don't remember which one it was. It was. Where are you? Oh, here we go. I knew I saw it. Okay. Realize that even small gestures can impact others greatly, for better or for worse. That is that understanding that, the Page of Swords and the upright can be, they can, um, they come in with truth and clarity, but when it's in reverse like this, it's saying that we can have the tendency to say things that can be hurtful, can be manipulative, can be hurtful, can be, we have to watch what we're saying. So the advice here is to watch what we're saying, how we're approaching others, how we're showing up in the world, to be cautious of what we're putting out there. Check in with your intuition, before what is that saying? Is it the kiss? Um, well, keep it simple, stupid. But the keep it. Is it, what is the? I'm trying to get that. Um, the the thing that I read. I've seen it so many times about, is it appropriate? Is it kind? Is it appropriate? Is it necessary? You'll know what I'm talking. Hopefully you'll. If you don't, I'll find that, and I'll try and link it. Maybe I'll put it on my community page. But that's what kind of what's coming through, that kind of advice, and to not do anything, not jump into anything when you're emotional. Okay, so this is saying watch your emotions. Don't, if you're overly emotional, you might say or do something that is, you might say or do something that is not going to be productive. So it's really saying, watching, don't jump into anything if you're not in balance, if you're not, remember, we go back to this overall energy of the divine feminine. Divine feminine is receptive energy. It's not about doing anything. It's not about being active. It's about being passive. It's about going within. It's about, really thinking about things before we act, okay? Not reacting, okay? And that's what it's saying here. Don't react to things rashly, or sorry, irrationally, I should say. Don't act from a place that is impulsive, irrational, where we haven't calmed ourselves before we've considered what we have to say. They all came out in reverse. the the King of Wands. So this is making sure that we don't let our pride and ego get the best of us, because this is all talking about, this is saying, don't, let's not, because this is advice. So it's saying, let's do our best to not be in this energy, to not be the King of Wands in reverse, to not be the Ace of Cups in reverse, to not be the Page of Swords in reverse. So is that, sorry, yeah, Page of Swords. So this is really about, making sure that we're showing up in the best energy that we can, that we're showing up in a way that is compassionate and kind and considerate of others, of ourselves and others. We have to make sure we're doing ourselves justice, as well. But we can be heard, we can be seen, and we can be heard without throwing a huge tantrum, throwing a big fit, yelling and screaming, stomping our feet. We don't need to do that. We don't need to let our pride and ego, our because we're hurt, you know, let us act irrationally. Okay, so that's the advice, is not to let our emotions get the best of us where we're acting irrationally. So especially, the Page of Swords can talk about, it can be a card of like online and seeing things online and knowledge and communication. And so it can be, not letting, not we could potentially let something we see, on social media or something like that, or online, you know provoke us into this emotional response that could be not beneficial for anyone. And that's kind of the advice here. Don't let something, you know don't react to something, without, doing your due diligence of really understanding, what's coming across. Is it worth it? Is it worth it to react to that, respond to it? Is it, what does it accomplish by me saying this or doing this thing? What is it actually accomplishing? Am I just blowing smoke to blow smoke? Like, is anybody actually listening to me? Is it actually helping me? Is it actually helping other people? Or am I just, complaining to complain? Am I just wasting hot air? Am I wasting my time and effort and energy complaining, when I could be taking that same effort and energy and putting it into something constructive that would actually help and benefit someone or something? Take those, instead of yelling and screaming, stomping our feet and complaining. What can I do to actually make active change? What actions can I take that will actually have an impact, that will actually work toward the goal that I'm wanting? Because when we're just complaining, when we're just pushing all these memes around on social media, or we're pushing all this stuff on social media, it's like, it's almost like it's falling on deaf ears. And all you're doing sometimes is just triggering other people, and it's not, I feel like it's not really accomplishing anything. And I think people are starting to understand the futility of it, that it's just wasted energy. We're wasting our energy when it could be better spent on other things. It could be spent on things that are more productive, that are more valuable, that actually could implement change in the way we want to see it in our lives. I hope that makes sense, because that's what's coming through here very strongly. It's powerful. This is a powerful reading. It really is. There's some serious power behind this, and we are in a time of great change. We really are. It's understanding these concepts are going to be key to moving forward. So I meant to tell you, if you're new here, since I've came back from my trip from Europe, the readings, I've been doing these yes or no questions at the end of the reading. So take a moment, and if you don't have a question for them, you can pause the video and think of a question, a yes or no question you'd like to ask at this time. And then we'll see what the answer is for you. Sometimes a little bit more than the yes or no comes through, but we'll see what happens. So this is a time to get your question in mind, and we'll see what the answer wants to be. What's the answer for my collective's question? What's the answer for them at this time? A no. Feeling fragmented, cracking under pressure. So this is just telling me, this no is saying that there's another line of thinking that needs to be implemented here. This is like when we were forming a conclusion, or we're forming a plan based on a fallible solution, or a fallible plan, something that is a not, it's not a solid, how do I want to put this? I just feel like this no is saying that there's a different way to do it. Okay, it's saying not the way you're thinking. Okay, let me put it that way. This no is like, no, it's not the way you're thinking. It needs to be the plan, the idea, the question. It needs to either be a different question, or it needs to be um, the way you're approaching something needs to be approached differently. It needs to be thought of in a different way, looked at in a different way. It needs a different. It's almost like the hangman energy of getting up in the hangman's tree and seeing things from a different perspective. There's a different solution. There's a different, like, to get that yes, it requires a shift. Okay, in a way, the way we're looking at something, the way we're thinking about something. Okay, so it's not a definitive no. Okay, I'm just letting you know that right now. So it's just a no with the way you're doing it or the way you're approaching it. Okay, so think of try and expand your mind, and it goes back to that, Clay, being a little more malleable, being thinking a little. Even the Seven of Cups talks about infinite possibilities, the fact that there are many solutions to a problem. And so this is just saying that the way you're looking at this right now is not the correct way. There's a better way. There's a different way. Okay, so it's not a definite no. So that's what I have for you guys today. I wish you the very best. I thank you for joining me. I hope this resonated with you, and thank you all so much for supporting me in every way that you do. I appreciate all of you who watch and join me as I do these readings. I love the support that I get when I get it. Love you all so much. I hope you have the very best day. Much harmony and gratitude to you, my friends.